you for joining us for day 2 of our virtual volunteer fair. We're so happy to have all of you joining in with us, and we have some amazing community organizations and representatives lined up for today. And again, I thanked Danny yesterday, but I say thanks again to Danny because he's been responsible for coordinating all of the logistics for this event today. Danny is one of our student service leaders for the Office for Community and Civic Engagement. So Danny, again, I say thank you. My name is Natural Love, and I'm the Assistant Director for Community Engagement with the Office for Community and Civic Engagement at UNCP. I look forward to just talking with you all more today about what we have in store. Danny, if you can go ahead and jump to that next slide. So today, you're in the right place. From 3 to 4 p.m., we ask for your time as we talk a little bit more about the community organizations within our area. So today, each community partner that you'll hear from Alicia at the Transit Center in Lumberton, North Carolina. You'll hear from Mike Panino with Vertical Church, and you'll also hear from another organization, a fairly new organization, NAMI, as they talk about the services that they offer within their organization. So if you have questions, we ask that you interact with us. After each presenter is done, unmute yourself or put your questions or comments in the chat box, and we'd be happy to get to those in a timely manner. Next slide, please, Danny. So again, questions, comments, let us know. The panelists and presenters, they're here and they're ready for your questions, and I think we're all kind of ready to hear what they have in store for us. So Danny, I'm going to pass it to you to kick us off and get us started with Alicia.
Awesome. Hi, guys. My name is Alicia Ayanchankaya, and I am one-on-one mentor coordinator at the Transit Center Mentoring Program in Lumberton, North Carolina. I very much enjoy interaction. So if you can use your chat box and you have it readily available to you, then do so. So my first question to the group, and you can just write it in the chat box, is whether or not you've heard of the Transit Center Mentoring Program. So if you have heard of it, give me a yes or a thumbs up. And if you haven't heard of it, just put first time. And that's awesome in the chat box, so then I'll know who's heard of the Transit Center Mentoring Program or not. Whether you've heard of it or not, I'm here to give you some more information about it. And so I'll be the one talking about the one-on-one portion. There's more to it, but I'm going to start off with that part. All right, Danny? I'm going to start off with the history and vision. It's going to start off with Cross the Youth Law Center. Again, Danny will tell you that this is our nonprofit. It was established in the year of 2015. And in 2015, Sabrina LaShore actually became the founder of Cross the Youth Law Center, and it services young people from the ages of 6 to 21. In those age groups, we have different programs associated with them, which I'm a part of one of those programs, and I'll talk about that in a second. But the Cross Youth Law Center's objective is to provide holistic representation for the youth in our community who may have or have experienced some time with the juvenile justice system. And so we want to either get them away from it, take them out of it, or show them another opportunity out there. So giving them positive influences. It might not even be that they've been a part of it, but they've known someone or live in a community where that happens a lot. And so her objective was to give them some holistic help to show them some positive influences by using different programs. And that other program is our first service program, which is the Transit Center Youth Mentoring Program. That's what I asked. I heard a lot of people say, yeah, this is my first time. And that's awesome. I know a lot of you have heard Sabrina LaShore's name. So I see someone say, hey, I work with Sabrina. So that's good. Awesome. So that's my boss and my best friend. And at the Transit Center Youth Mentoring Program, We service the youth from ages 9 to 18. And so in those groups, we actually try to show them positive influence by allowing them to go through a 14-week program in which they use the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens by Sean Covey. And through that book and through that time period together, they work through those steps, those 7 habits, so they can figure out how to better apply themselves in their day-to-day life and in our community, giving them positive outlooks, encouraging them to learn more about what it takes to be a successful individual and citizen in society. And that's our service program. But the next part, and if you click one more time, Danny, is the Transit Center one-on-one mentoring. So it is an additional hand. So I am under the umbrella, we're all under the umbrella of CROSS, which there are other programs like their Second Chance Academy, and she's starting a new grassroots program this year too, for a younger group. The Transit Center's under there. And then I'm still a part of the Transit Center. I'm just the extra part. So after the students go through that 14-week program with Sabrina LaShore, and even my husband is one of the youth coordinators, then after they finish that program, then they come to me, and I am taking them from learning those habits to having someone to be with them to kind of help them and guide them to apply those habits in their day-to-day life. And so this person will be a mentor for them. And so that's why I'm here today, because that's my service. That additional service program is mentorship. And so taking a young mind, a young life, and trying to shape them into what they've already learned and a successful and effective teenager or young adult should be. All right, go to the next one. Awesome. So here are some of the services that we offer and our clients that are served. So these are mentors and mentees, and all of you can be or have been a mentor or mentee. If you're a parent, you're a mentor. If you've been a teacher, you're a mentor automatically. So, and then if you're a student, you're a mentee because they're teaching you different things. And so in our service, we service mentors and mentees. And so, the one-on-one mentorship would be our big thing. So having the opportunity to have one adult, one child, or we have some adults who would like to help multiple children because it just works better if you want to play a basketball game. One-on-one's fun sometimes, but then sometimes you want 2, 3, or 4 to be together. And so like they had some kids playing outside today. So, but we're offering that one-on-one mentorship, that focus when you have just a smaller crowd, just like UNCP. I love that I am a former graduate of UNCP, and when I was there, I loved the class size because it was smaller compared to those larger universities, and so that helped me to learn better and to have a better relationship with my professors. So that one-on-one mentorship is available. Round the clock support. I have my own work phone that you can call and you can text all day, all night, especially if you're taking a mentee out side of their home, or just in case you're meeting up or you have a question, I'm available to be contacted at all times. I can be reached by email. And so is the same for Sabrina and then also Chris. Sabrina is the executive director of this program, and then Chris Gyens is the program director. So those are my 2 uppers. And then we have this new thing called monthly mixers. And so we're having a mixer next week that we're really excited about. And I understand the virtual change at UNCP, and I'll talk about that as we move along. But we have monthly mixers where it gives an opportunity for the mentors and the mentees to get together and have a good time, just spending time together, getting to learn each other so that they can help that relationship to grow. So if you're a mentor, you would have to be at least 20 years old, and that's because our eldest mentee is 18. So if you're 18 and they're 18, it's probably not going to work out that much. But it's amazing how those 2 years would make a difference to the mind of an 18-year-old. So 20 at least. And if you're 19 and you're turning 20, that's cool. We'll contact you when you turn 20 and allow you to mentor someone in our local community. And for them, we have monthly orientation. You only have to attend one. And then after that first one, we'll have quarterly trainings where you can come back and talk to me about best habits, better habits, of how you can showcase your mentorship and help your mentee grow. And then don't forget, I'm here around the clock for support. And then those mentees are age 9 to 18, and they have preferable selection. So that means we give everybody a form at the beginning to say what you like. So in the application for the mentor and in the application for the mentee, we'll ask, what are your preferences? So do you like skating? Do you like fishing? Do you like cooking? I talked to a young lady last night who told me she can cook anything in the world. And I told her, well, I'm not necessarily a great cook, but I love to bake. And I actually just was like, oh my gosh, I'm about to take this girl from somebody else and I want to be her mentor because one, she can teach me how to cook and I'll teach her how to bake. So that was one connection I made yesterday. So they get preferable selection. So if we find someone who has something similar in the similar interests like they do, then we want to put those two together. I'm interested in upholstery. My father did upholstery probably years before I was born. I probably stopped that because I was a handful. And then my father is now deceased. And so I don't have anyone to teach me upholstery. And that's something I'm truly interested in. All of a sudden, I found someone 2 days ago, just ran into him by accident. And he was like, I'm looking to train somebody to do upholstery. And I'm like, oh my God, that's me. So I'm so excited. And so that's the same types of connections we want to make with our mentors and our mentees, someone who has something in common with them so they can have something that they can share together. We can go to the next slide. All right, so these are some past volunteer opportunities. You will be able to tell, I'm sure, by some of those pictures that some of these pictures happened pre-COVID-19, and then you can tell which ones happened after COVID-19. And if you can't tell, I don't know where you've been. You're living on a rock because pre-COVID-19, there are no masks and we're all in large groups together in our space. And that first picture in the top left-hand corner is inside the room in the transit center where we have a lot of our meetings. And we had someone come from the Lumbee tribe and just kind of enhance their understanding about the culture in our local area, which is cool. So we do that. I'll go down to that picture below. That's pre-COVID-19. We were in a van. We take plenty of trips. I believe that trip was to the zoo that the kids were attending. So we took them to the zoo. We've taken them to museums. We've taken the children just about any and every place in our community and out. I know they went to a couple basketball games when they were available, and then to a football game in Charlotte with the Panthers. So we've done that. After COVID-19 hit, it's more staff than the children. And so what we're doing, or what we have been doing, is still letting them experience the things that they normally would. So that top picture where you have the van in the background, we were passing out Easter baskets for the kids. So, church didn't happen, or, they didn't go Easter egg hunting this year. So we still wanted the kids to have an opportunity to get their Easter basket. So all they had to do was come sign up and grab a basket. And that was it. And then that picture below was actually last month where we did our back to school bash. I believe it was Saturday, August the 15th. We gave out free school supplies. So this was right before school started. So whatever the transit center does, the transit center one-on-one does. And so for the mentors and mentees and the opportunity to get some volunteer hours, we had plenty of students call before the back to school bash and ask could they volunteer. The answer is yes. We do so many drive-by events now since COVID-19. So if you want, or if you need volunteer hours, you'll call the transit center, and I'm pretty sure we have something for you to do and for you to give. And then I've already talked to Sabrina and Chris about, virtual opportunities, because I've spoken to Natural about making those changes. And so want to definitely make sure that you understand that whether you decide to be a mentor or if you just want to come and volunteer at the transit center, there's things available for you to do. I want to draw attention to that little girl in the corner. She was also at the back to school bash. She helped so much. And she just recently got matched with a mentor. So I believe that smile is because she's excited because she has a mentor. So she's graduated from that 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teen 14-week program. And now she's going to have someone to help her through that journey for the rest of her life. So that's exciting. Next slide. All right, so upcoming events and opportunities, mark your calendars forever, because we need mentors. Our young people need someone currently now. If you know, remember I said I like interaction. So if you're new to the WebEx, we're using our chat boxes and we're talking back and forth. If you know someone that needs a mentor now, just let me know. You don't have to put their name, just says, I know someone. Or if you don't, say, I'll look for someone, or I'll be a mentor. Whatever you want to say, that's fine, but let's participate. So we need mentors. So this is how we do our recruitment. I have monthly interest meetings. That's the first Saturday of the month, unless it's a holiday. Unless the first Saturday falls near a holiday, then it's going to be the second Saturday of the month. And it's at 11 a.m. and it's only for 30 minutes. I'm talking about 30. And then unless you got a question, we out. So 11 a.m. to 11:30, and then you're free to enjoy the rest of your Saturday. And I'm just basically running through what we do here in just a little bit more detail. Then after we do the interest meeting, about 2 weeks later, we'll do a monthly orientation for the prospective mentor. So after the interest meeting, I would give you a packet to say, hey, if you're interested in becoming a mentor, I'll fill this packet out and get it back to me. You get it back to me, then you're welcome to join us at the monthly orientation. We are open to virtual, and then I can do virtual at your convenience. So if it's a day where we plan it and you can't be available, then since it's virtual, it's kind of easy just to get together with you whenever you have time. So that is the one benefit of everything going virtual, convenient. So if you're free at 8:30, okay, so am I. So let's do our monthly orientation. That one's a lot longer than the interest meeting, because now I got to give you the bones of what it looks like to become a mentor. Okay. Then if you're interested in volunteering, then don't forget about that mixer I mentioned early. We have a monthly mixer. I am open to the idea of having a virtual mixer. So I talked to one of the mentors who wants to do like a gaming mixer. And I'm like, that would be cool if we can all be on and we're all playing a game together, kind of like they do with PlayStations and stuff like that. So if you have an idea, especially the young people, you guys are younger. So if you have an idea about how we can do things virtually and still have a good time, the youth are into technology anyway. So they probably wouldn't be into just walking around a museum and doing stuff that I did when I was a kid. So I'm open to doing a virtual mixer. So if you have a great idea of how to do things virtually, then let's do so. You can tutor a mentee. They're in school. So even though they're in school virtually, they need some help. And that's what one of the mentees told me 2 days ago. She was like, I really need help. My homework, and her mama said the same thing, because she's not a teacher and she doesn't know how to answer these questions. And she said, I need someone who can help her because I can't. And that's understandable. So you guys are in college, or you know someone in college, or you're teaching someone in college, or you're a teacher, and that would be even better. So we just need someone who will be able and available to help tutor a mentee so that they can get through this virtual learning that they're doing this year with a little bit more ease. And then lastly, you can always join the Transit Center for any of our drive-by events. We'll do a drive-by event and we will post it everywhere we know and let people know, especially on our Facebook, that, hey, we're doing a drive-by event. If you want to come out and volunteer, you can. Or if you just want to be a voice and let other people know that we're doing a drive-by event, that counts. So we appreciate that free advertisement so that we can get things out, and we do things for free. So we're not just handing out book bags, we're handing out meals at the same time, and information and packets. So we're really trying to help the community to grow while we're in the middle of this pandemic, and previously, before, and then continuing after. So we definitely have a positive outlook on the community that we live in, and it's going to be whatever you put into it. So we're trying to put our best foot forward into it. And so if you have a foot that you can put forward, then we just ask for you to help us. So let's go to that next one. Oh man, that went by so fast. Okay, well, wait, Danny, thanks. All right, so this is our mentoring program. That man in the picture is the program director. That's Chris Guians. And the slogan for the Transit Center is successfully transitioning youth from adulthood, from adolescence to adulthood. And we want to do that successfully. There's a transition. Some people grow older. Age doesn't mean that we're adults. And so we want to make sure that they successfully transition into that adulthood, and we're doing the best that we can. We're located in Lumberton, so you can stop by, or if you want to virtually stop by, you can do that. And then if you need any contact information, thank you so much, Danny, because I made an error and he fixed it for me. That's my phone number. Literally can contact me as soon as this is over. You can get it and you'll be able to call me right afterward or text me and let me know that you're interested, or my email address that is below. And I will also put it in the chat for you. So if you're interested, or if you said you're interested, then can you put your email in the chat, so then I'll be able to contact you. And that's all my vocal time. So thanks, guys.
Alicia, that was awesome. That was awesome. I'll leave it to anybody. If anyone on our call has any questions or comments that you all want to share with Alicia, feel free to unmute yourselves now or put them in the chat box. I'll leave just a few seconds for that. I actually have one question, Alicia.
Sure.
So, well, maybe two questions. Maybe two. So, what has been some of the experiences? Like, what have some of your mentors said? Like, what has been their feedback or their experiences? Because it seems like you already have someone who's mentioned that they would love to be a mentor. But I'm just curious,
Yeah.
what's been some of the, the feedback that your mentors or your mentees have given you all?
I will go for the mentees because I'm newly into this position. And so Sabrina and Chris probably could answer better for the mentors. But for the mentees, I did ask the kids how they enjoyed it. And so they enjoy having the opportunity to talk to someone after school, or just someone checking on them. It was awesome because the objective is to build a natural relationship. And so even though at the beginning we're requiring certain hours to be met, kind of like you have to do when you volunteer anyhow, where after a while a relationship actually governs and it grows naturally, and the kids just absolutely love the opportunity to have someone just call them randomly, or they see the number on the phone, or even just the mentees that we have who are signed up now, who are about to be assigned to mentors, are so excited because it's weird because you don't talk to your mom or your dad. And I hear it from the parents all the time, like, she won't talk to me, she's angry, or he doesn't want to participate. And then as soon as we call and tell them we've matched them with someone, they light up and they're ready to participate, and they're excited to have someone who is taking their personal time and actually dedicating it to them. And so that's been the greatest part, to call someone and hear the screaming in the background on the phone because they're excited that someone cares enough to take a little extra time out of their day where they could be relaxing or doing something else, because we have other things to do, and just taking those moments to dedicate to someone that they don't know and are willing to build a relationship. And so we appreciate those who are interested. We appreciate those who just hear. I appreciate all of you for just hearing me out, whether you're interested or not. That's awesome. And if you know someone who's interested, or if you know of a young person who needs a mentor, just let me know.
Thanks so much, Alicia. I know you had one of our viewers to just comment and say nice presentation, and they will be looking for a mentor candidate. So raising that awareness, and I always appreciate just kind of learning more about what you all do. And Alicia, she's kind of made her call to action. So if you know people, mentors or mentees, or you want to get involved, Alicia is your contact. And Alicia, she's going to put her contact information in the chat box for you to have that as well. So thanks so much, Alicia, for joining us, and thanks for sharing that great information.
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity.
Absolutely. You had another comment to say, great presentation. So we're going to switch things over a bit. We're going to shift to our next presenter, Miss Hannah Carroll. She's going to talk a little bit more about NAMI. And I'm passing it over to you, Miss Hannah.
Okay, thank you, Natural. As she said, I'm going to talk about NAMI. NAMI is the National Alliance on Mental Illness, and NAMI has over 600 affiliates in their organization. And when you join NAMI, NAMI is at 3 levels. You join at 1 level, you automatically become a member at national state level. Our national office is located in Arlington, Virginia. Our state office is located in Raleigh, North Carolina. And the office that I am affiliated is located at 109 Bradford Avenue, room 118, Fayetteville, North Carolina. And we have in our name 3 counties, Cumberland, Harnett, and Lee counties, but we serve any county that's in close proximity of us that do not have a NAMI. So we do serve Robertson County, Hope County, Sampson County, and like I said, any county that's uh, near us. And who are we? What do? We consider ourselves as the nation's voice on mental illness because people with mental illness usually do not have a voice or their voice is not valued and not heard. So we pride ourselves in that. And what do? We support, we educate, and we advocate. We also give out resources, and our national organization is big into research because much research is needed when it comes to mental health challenges and substance abuse disorder. And we also recently have added to our affiliate a crisis navigation course, which I will get to later in the slide. And we want everybody, because we know the stigma associated with mental health challenges. We know that a lot of people do not consider mental health challenges or substance abuse use as a legitimate disease. But we know that it is, because if you have a disorder in your brain, how can you just say, well, that's not a physical illness? Because your brain is one of the most important organs in your body. So therefore, that is. And we want everybody that's associated with any kind of mental health challenge to realize it's okay to ask for help. And we want you to know that you are not alone. Whatever you're going through, someone else has been through the same or something similar. And we want you to know that hope really starts with you. And we want you to learn from those who've been there and done that. Let us help you bury the load. Well, you said all that, and just who are you and what do you do? NAMI Cumberland, Harnett, and Lee counties is dedicated to the improvement of the quality of life of all those whose lives are affected by brain disorders and substance use disorder. We are a nonprofit, grassroots, self-help organization dedicated to education, support, and advocacy on the behalf of persons with brain and substance use disorder. Who are our members? Our members are individuals with lived experiences, family members, friends, mental health professionals, policymakers, and others, all others who are concerned and want to help and have that empathy and that drive. That is our mission, our vision, our purpose. Services we offer education. We offer education because we know dealing with the unknown can be more difficult than dealing with illness itself. Educate yourself. NAMI, Cumberland, Harnett, and Lee counties offers the free educational courses, and presentations. Find the one that's right for you. Support. As I said before, always remember you are not alone. And remember, our group is here to help each other walk the mile and bear the load. Attend or lead a NAMI support group. You will find within a circle of people who know what it's like to have a have or support a loved one who have brain disorders and substance abuse programs. You say, lead a support group. How can I lead a support group? NAMI offers training for all of their volunteers, whatever whether it's support groups, educational classes, advocacy, or whatever it is, you will receive free training that will equip you to walk that mile and help bury that load. Advocacy. Avocation is very needed, and especially in the beginning with lots of people who never vision that they themselves would be the person that would be hit by that big trait frame of mental illness. Everything is uncertain. You think about the pandemic and you think of all of the uncertain that's wrapped around this pandemic. You think about how your way of life has been totally changed. Stop and imagine. We're all hopeful that the pandemic will be outlived, that the pandemic is for a particular time. But imagine if that freight train of mental illness knocks and crushes you. You, in the beginning, think, no way out, no time when this is over. What will I do? So it is very helpful that if you have people who have been there, who have experienced this, to help you get through. And we also advocate for supportive housing, community programs, for peer brace programs that promote recovery and vocational training that increase fundings for research. You said recovery. Recovery is not possible, I thought. You saying recovery? I got a mental illness. Will it just go away? No, that mental illness will not just go away, but you can live in recovery. You can learn the vehicle that will help you to get from point A to point B. I'm sitting on the porch now looking in the neighborhood. I see vehicles in everybody's yard, vehicles, trucks, Toyotas, Lexus, and Chevrolets, and some cars I don't even know. But the point is, those vehicles got us all to this same street. And that's how it is with recovery. That's why it's so important that people be educated, that people be supported and advocated for. And this is the course that I said that I would get back for. Our national office put out a pamphlet called Navigating the Mental Health Crisis, which gave a lot of tips on what to do in a crisis. Because when a crisis hits you, you don't know what to do and you don't know where to go. So our affiliate got to thinking, crisis is a time when people are pulling their hair and they're just looking. Oh, my loved one is going through this. The system is set up where if your loved one is over 18, things you just can't find out. So we want you to know, as I said, we understand the challenges of that freight train. And families have no idea what to look for. So we thought about we need to offer a course that will help these families, because not only do they not know what to expect, sometimes they feel resentment, frustration, guilt, anger, all sorts of unexplained emotions. In fact, lots of times, families are so overwhelmed that they lose all hope. At this time, families need a balance and they need hope restored to their lives. NAMI, Cumberland, Hardin, and Lee counties are so pleased that we have come up with this one-day curriculum, crisis intervention for families. It's 8 hours, as I've already said. It's designed to teach families how to recognize and manage mental health or substance use crisis. The course also offers tools, tips, and strategies to navigate an emergency crisis. It helps to reduce the frequency of crises and possibly even help prevent some future crises. And it looks like I'm going to have to get off the porch. Next one. Okay, next slide.
Yes, ma'am. That's your honey bun right there.
Opportunities to serve and grow. NAMI, Cumberland, Harnett, and Lee counties has a lot of opportunities for people to join us and learn to serve and to grow. You do? What? Like I said, we have an educational program, so we teach classes. We teach several classes. We have family to family class, which is a class for family members that teaches coping skills for those family members of people with loved ones. Because as you may know, it is not always what you said or even how you said. It is how it's perceived. We do outreach in our community because there are more myths than there are facts about mental health and substance abuse challenges, and people have learned the myths and consider the myths true. Okay, we have support groups that you can help us facilitate. We have lots and lots of clerical and computer opportunities that can get involved with. Like I say, you can be trained for programs that we offer. And we do a lot of collaboration with community partners because nonprofits budgets are usually limited, and we have learned collaborating with people that are doing the same things that we're doing takes our dollars farther. And also advocacy and much, much more. We invite each and every one of you to join NAMI. You might say, I do not have a mental health challenges, and that is great. I don't even have a family member with it, but if you have an empathy for those who do, we do invite you to join us and get an opportunity to serve and watch us grow, but more than that, watch the person with the mental health challenge life become more and more enriched.
Your kids don't even want you to leave because they're afraid of the dark. And so capture those moments
and upcoming events. We have 2 upcoming events that I want to briefly mention. The first one is an extravaganza of fun for everyone. It's going to be dance and modeling, singing, spoken word, and just a time to relax and have some good old-fashioned fun. We will be presenting this on September the 19th from 6 to 8. And it's part of our inclusion program because we really realize that everyone in our community should have that opportunity to live to their fullest potential and not be isolated, not be segregated, and not even be integrated, but to be a part of that community to their fullest potential. And that's what this program is all about. But because of COVID-19, we wanted to be, we wanted to get our message across, but we wanted to get it across in a less heavy way. And what better way than just let your hair down, dance, sing, and do your thing? So please see our contact information, and please do register to come and join us. I'm sure you will enjoy it. We even have our NAMI State mascot, which is Roxy the dog, modeling several outfits. And I know you don't want to watch. You don't want to miss her strut her stuff. And the last opportunity of upcoming events that I'm going to mention is NAMI Connections Recovery Support Group. We will be launching it virtually on September the 24th. The contact information is on the screen, and that class is for that support group is for people who live with mental health challenges, and that group is led by people that are in recovery with mental health challenges. And as I close, I would like to say that NAMI, Cumberland, Harnett, and Lee County opens their doors, their hearts, and their lives to all whose lives are affected by mental health challenges, and to all who has that empathy, that compassion to know that together we are better together, and together we can make a difference in somebody's life.
They have a conscience that's been shaped and formed by Scripture and by the Spirit. And so even just dropping.
Thank you so much, Hannah, for sharing all the events and upcoming opportunities that you all have for NAMI. Again, I ask if anyone on the call, if you have any questions, any comments for Hannah, feel free to unmute yourself or put those in our chat box. I'll leave a few seconds for that.
Hi, it's Alicia. I have a question. I was wondering if you service people in Lumberton. 'Cause I know I saw Harnett, Lee, and Cumberland, but what about Robinson? Could I give your information to someone in Robinson, or is there a local NAMI here in Robinson County?
Absolute joy, blessings.
Could you repeat the question? I didn't quite get it.
Sorry, I said, is there a local NAMI here in Robinson County? Because I know there was Harnett, Lee counties. I saw that, but I know there are some people who I know myself who would benefit from your program here in Robinson County.
Particular time, there is not a local affiliate in Robertson County, but as I mentioned in the beginning, we do serve Robertson County, and we do have, I have been in contact with some people in Robertson County who are very much interested in starting up a NAMI. So if you know people that might benefit, feel free to get in contact with us. We will not let a distance go. Anywhere that there's not a NAMI, if we're contacted, like I said, we go to Sampson, Robinson. We've even went as far as Scotland County, because if there's a need, we know, because most of us that are really involved in our NAMI, we've either been there with lived experiences, or somebody that's so dear to our heart have been crushed by that freight train. So we know that it is important to reach out and to help someone else bear that load, so we don't let distance stop us.
Last call for any questions, comments that you all want to ask Hannah or leave for her. I know she shared her contact information with you all, so I hope you got your screenshot of that or your picture of that. As she mentioned, she would love to hear from you all, especially if you're interested in those opportunities and events that she has, or even if you're interested in talking with her more about bringing a NAMI to your area. So feel free to reach out to Hannah. Hannah, we thank you for being a part of this with us today. And now we're going to take a transition. Our last panelist for today, one of my dear friends, Mike Panino. I'm passing it to you, Mike.
Appreciate it. And before I say anything, the last two presentations I think are very much overlooked, and I appreciate you guys and what you do. Just want to say that real quick. But yeah, so other than that, I'm a pastor here at Vertical Church. You can go, actually, before going to the next slide, just some different pictures we got up here. The top and the bottom ones are just different sermon series we've done. Like we like to try to do stuff out of the box or try to be intentional with like application, stuff like that. And the the girl on the right, it's interesting that the last presentation was on mental health. Like it's been cool to see how God's help people through our church to be able to help them through mental health and all kinds of different issues. Like for us to be able to be there for them, to point them in the right direction, to be able for them to find healing and to find recovery and stuff like that. But to get more intentional about Vertical, if you can go to the next slide. Cool. So who are we? Our church started about in 2011. It was started by 4 pastors who took a step of faith because they were all from around this area, Robeson County, Bladen County, and they just saw around the area where there was just a lot of people who were either just not connected to church, disenfranchised by a church, hurt by a church, and for whatever reason, we see a lot of people who have church hurt, and a lot of people fall through the cracks, and we wanted to be the church that would be there for those that a traditional church or other churches wouldn't be able to reach for whatever reason. And throughout the years in 2013 and 2015, we'd end up planning 2 other locations. And in 2015, recently in Pembroke, across the street from GPAC, which has been really, really awesome to not only impact the community, but also college students as well. And our biggest statements, our vision statement being we want to help people who don't like church meet God, kind of like we want to meet those who either feel disenfranchised or are far away or just people who might be uncomfortable going to a traditional church, whether because they have church hurt or family hurt or different things like that. We want to be able to like clear out any hindrances between people and God as much as possible on our end. And our mission statement, leading people to be passionate about Jesus so that they can lead people to Jesus, because we understand we're going to be talking about what we're most passionate about. And so we're not about trying to force people to accept Jesus. We're not about trying to force Christianity on people. We just want to stir passion in people if they already have that passion for Christ, so that they can be able to share that in a genuine, authentic way. Because too often it's easy to know people. I'm pretty sure we all know of somebody who's been like a Bible thumper or something like that. And more often than not, we don't need people Bible thumping us. We need people actually hearing us out and talking to us and loving us before even talking about God or anything like that. And honestly, we want to just create an opportunity and a space for people to, like the way we might put it is for imperfect people to meet a perfect God. Because we don't want to build up this facade that if you go to church on Sunday or you're Christian, you're a perfect person. Like we all have our own weaknesses. We all have our own strengths. We have our own things going on. And to just assume everybody's got it all together, I think is not a good mentality. Like that, the student I was mentioning before, like her story without throwing out her name, it was maybe like about 3 years or 4 years ago. She'd been struggling with heroin and all kinds of junk like that out of high school, just starting in college. And she just reached a place where she knew she was in a bad place, but didn't know how to get out and felt distant from God. But somebody invited her to Vertical, and she decided to come, and she brought another friend of hers who was also struggling with the same addiction. And she ended up falling in love with the church, giving her life to Christ, and taking the steps to get clean from the drug addiction she's been going through. And she's not the only one who's been through that type of process. Just it's been cool to see what God's been able to do through us and through our ministry. But to be able to go to the next slide, just some of the stuff that we do. With COVID, obviously, it's been hard over the last whatever amount of months it's been. And for the last 6 whatever months since March, we've been doing our services online. But recently, we've been opening our doors for in service. But if people don't want to come, we're not shaming people. Like, we want people to be safe. We want to be smart about it. And we've been trying to do as many precautions as possible and be wise about it, because we know of different churches who started too soon and people got sick, and we don't want to be stupid about it. We want to be wise about it. but different serving opportunities we have. So we have all these different opportunities. I'll talk about the ones on the right. All the ones on the right are what would fall under what we call our host team, with the next team, cafe team, etc. And the goal for our host team is to basically be to make everybody feel welcome and comfortable. Like that's their that's their chief goal. The next team, their goal is to basically help people take next steps, whatever next steps looks like for them, whether it's with God or personal things in life, to be available at hand for people who need to take next steps or to point people in the directions they need to go. Cafe team to be able to provide refreshments and stuff like that. It's really interesting how I'll just pick on men for a second, how men can like get comfortable with a cup of coffee in their hand and just having something to hold on to instead of feeling like awkward, like, oh, what do I need to talk about here? When in reality, like, just be yourself. And so just being able to provide refreshments and do all that kind of good stuff. Greeting team, as it sounds, greeting, like, and we try to push anyone who's serving to know that, in fact, regardless of the position you have or the role you have, or even if you don't have a role, like, you're part of the greeting team. Like, we're supposed to be a family. We're supposed to be loving each other regardless if we have a title or not. VIP team, their job, their role is basically to meet first-time guests, meet even second-time guests, and to basically connect with them, welcome them, help them if they have any questions about being here for the first time, et cetera, stuff like that. Parking lot team, to be able to help people with parking and to be kind of like the first connection point for people who are coming, to be that friendly face and to be that loving person to introduce them as they're about to come to a service. Ushers, they help with seating, they help with collecting ties and stuff like that. But to flip to the other side, Echo, we actually have a college ministry on campus. And so that goes beyond just Sundays, just try and be there for college students and stuff like that, provide an avenue for college students to, like we were talking about before, to grow their passion for Christ, to help in this case, students who don't like church to meet God. Other than that, we got production team, which deals with like our sound and audio and basically making the service happen, to make it as less distraction and peaceful as possible. Because at least for me, I feel more confident singing out loud when a lot of other people are singing out loud because I don't sing well. And so just providing an atmosphere where people can feel comfortable to express themselves however they express themselves. Worship team, just as it is, anybody who plays an instrument or who sings or anything along those lines can join the worship team, and we have a process for that. V-Kids, with COVID and everything, we're probably holding off on that just for the safety of kids. But when COVID's gone and everything's safe, for kids, we try to have church and be able to share Jesus with kids on their level, instead of trying to make things fit our way and try and make them understand our way, but actually meeting them where they're at and allowing it to be fun. Like usually for kids, like the two questions we usually ask kids, whether before or after, is like, did you have fun? What'd you learn about? If they can't answer what they didn't learn about, that's okay. If they had fun, that's a win to us, because it's easy to look at church and God as boring, but if we can just make it fun for them and to provide an atmosphere where they don't have to worry about, oh gosh, I got to go to this boring, dumb place, like to be able to provide that for kids. And vertical internships, we provide all kinds of different internships, whether it's like a summer internship and anybody could be any age. Usually it's been like college age and older who have been in our internship programs, whether for the summer, it's mostly for people who are trying to figure out what their calling might be or what God might be calling them to. We also offer internships for people who might be considering whether joining a ministry or trying to pursue a ministry for a life, like for a job, or if they're considering church planning or pastoring or something like that, to provide internships like that. But one of the coolest things for the internships, like our now executive pastor actually went through a vertical internship about 2 years ago. And at the end of his internship, his next step was to become the executive pastor of our church, which was actually really cool. So the different avenues that leads to can be endless. And just on a more honest side of things, or to be more transparent for us outside of Sundays or outside of like college stuff, when it comes to serving outside in the communities, usually we've been more so like when a crisis arises, we come in and help. But something I've been personally wanting to do is like, or I would like to see our church do, is to be more active and more involved beyond just like when a crisis comes up. It's been cool to see our church help out whenever like hurricanes happen or whenever people are in need. But it would be much more cooler for us to be able to be there before that need even arises. And so that's something that I want us to be looking toward more in the future, is to be able to connect with people and try to think of different ways of just being there before any type of crisis happens. And so other than that, I think the last page is contact information. If anyone's interested in contacting us, I got our location Pastor DJ's email there. I got my email there. I got our Instagram, our Facebook links. We try to do as much as possible on social media because we know a lot of people are on social media and it's easy to connect with people over that. And so other than that, that's all I got.
Thanks, Mike. That was great. Learning more about you all. Hence, you said you all were right across from GPAC, so learning more about what you all do. What are you all's hours? Mike, is it just Sundays, or is there other times that you all are there or people can connect with you and DJ?
Yeah, so whenever you guys, if anyone needed to connect with us, we'll try to make our schedules available. However, but for like services, we do service at 9:15 and 11:15 on Sundays. And outside of that, for like college students, it's sporadic. They all have different groups and different times for that stuff. But yeah.
Thank you. Again, any questions, comments? The mute button, feel free to unmute yourself or put them in the chat box. I'll leave a couple of seconds or a few seconds for those. Got some good comments coming in, Mike. Great presentation from Alicia. Well, I think, again, day 2, wrapping things up in honor of our 9/11 week of service. Thank you to the presenters today. All of this information, you all should see my notebook. I have a list of notes, so I will be in contact with you all for sure, just to talk more about how we as an office can help and support. But for anyone who's listening in still on this call, and feel free, you have everybody's contact information. They've made it their call to action. Reach out to them, get more information if you're interested in working with them, and find other ways to volunteer in our local organization, because it's so funny that when we think about Robinson County, or Cumberland County, how these organizations are literally right in our backyard. Hence, Mike just said they're across the street from GPAC. So thank you all. This recording or this video, it will be available soon. As soon as we get it downloaded and add in some extra effects, this will be available for anyone to have and to share. So with that being said, thank you all so much again. I enjoyed this virtual volunteer fair. Thanks again to Danny for organizing this, and I look forward to talking with you all again soon. So thank you everyone for joining.